Yes. Oh, hello. Good morning, everybody. You join me in the Northumberland countryside this morning. I'm speeding towards the border with Scotland, and I have to say it's a beautiful morning. The bright spring watery sunshine is just bathing the landscape. We had a lick of frost last night and everything just looks crisp, clear and wonderful. I'm really excited to be out. I'm having a couple of days out. I'm going to go and fish the River Tweed tomorrow, but in the meantime today I'm going to go and fish a piece of club water on the way. And yeah, I've got chances. There's been water, so when there's been water you've got the chance of a salmon. What an absolutely glorious morning it is today. And there's actually some warmth in the sun. It's lovely. It's such a treat to be out on a spring day. Yeah, I've got my big rod today just because I want to have a cast, get some practice in before I'm on the Tweed tomorrow. Last time I fished here I used the 11-foot switch rod, which was enough eventually when I put a proper line on it. Carla, don't get yourself rattled up in there. Come on, shift. So a lot of people ask me what I'm using. Well, here it is. So 13.5-foot rod, 8/9 weight, 8/9 weight floating Rio outbound Scandi line, always an extra fast sink tip, and then a tippet ring on the end of the sink tip, and then 4 or 5 feet, actually 5 feet of Maxima or whatever tippet you want to use on the end. So that's my setup. It's pretty basic. Like I say, I pretty much won't be deviating from this from now on. And I'm just doing a 4-turn blood knot to the tippet ring. So I've tied up a few special flies for the trip. I'll show you what I've got. All these flies are tied on 1.25" copper tubes. So I'm going to stick with that principle of getting the fly nice and deep. I like the look of this one. This one's got tungsten cone on, so we'll start with the extra heavy and then we'll work light out if we need to. You wouldn't need to catch a fish to have an excuse to come out on a day like this. It's absolutely glorious. Oh, it feels like the first proper sun I've had in my face for months. Obviously I'm here in a positive state of mind and I am hoping to catch. But you could hardly say today would be wasted if I went home with a blank. There's a bit of a hatch going on now, it's nice. I can see midges and I think I can see a couple of blue-winged olives. And there's a couple just sitting on the surface, but there's nothing coming up there to take them. So I've come back to the van. We're having a bit of a rest in the sunshine. It was getting cold and Carla was getting tired. My old pal isn't in her best at the moment. She's not in the greatest of health, and there's not going to be too many more fishing trips, I don't think, so I'm just going to take it easy today. I think it's one of those days. I think yesterday would have been probably had more of a chance. So yesterday was when the water was dropping off, but yesterday was Sunday, so obviously with this being on the Scottish side of the border, no fishing. I wish they would update that rule. Like, it's a little bit it's difficult for the working man, because you know, if you work all week, then you know a lot of people only get to do things on a Sunday. I think maybe we could move with the times and change that. Anyway, so I'm just going to take it easy for a bit, I think. So decided to make the best of things, and Carla's just basically getting lots of meals now. Whenever she's hungry, I just feed her, and I give her like choice cuts all the time.
Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with the license.
Thanks, better help.
Thank you. This is crazy. It's a new format, yeah.
Yeah, we don't know what's happening. We don't like change.
Yeah.
This is a good alternative.
Okay.
Let's say you're somewhere you can't smoke. This is perfect.
Just white knuckle it and get to the other side.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Come and say hello. So, top of the morning everybody. As you can see, I found the river. It's not hard to miss it because it's bloody huge. I parked up last night next to it. I actually slept in a lay-by just next to the river, and I heard the wind howling down it last night, and in the dusk when I arrived, I just got a bit of a glimpse of what was happening, and it was a huge expanse of water, and I must say it's somewhat intimidating. Anyway, I'm up early this morning, and I thought I'd just come and sit down here and just see if I could maybe hear any kelp splashing about, or just see any sort of action. I saw an otter, but I haven't seen any fish. Maybe the kelps have gone by now, I don't know. It's March the 5th today, I believe. Yeah, I'm not my sharpest this morning. I must admit that that liqueur stuff I had last night, I just had a small taste of it. It's very, very nice. It was like a coffee whiskey liqueur with something else, like licorice, or maybe it's not licorice, something else, maybe just a touch of ayahuasca about it. I'm not entirely sure. Anyhow, it was very nice, and I had a couple of those, and last night I slept like a dead person. I mean, literally, I slept like I was dead. And I woke up this morning and I was somewhat surprised to find myself in a lay-by next to the River Tweed. Anyway, we are here, and I'm just sitting looking at the river, and I guess initially when you look at it, I'll let you have a look instead of looking at my hungover mug. This Carla over there, look, she's having an explore. So you look at it and you just think it's a massive expanse of water, and it doesn't look like the water's that high. It looks like it's this would be pretty much its normal level at this time of year anyway. But it's so huge. I mean, it's like looking at it like a super-sized salmon pool. I'm really excited. It's going to be great today. I've never fished in this sort of style. I think I might be fishing from a boat today, at least part of my day, so I'm looking forward to that. Last night, as I was sampling the liqueur stuff, I must admit I was overcome with some sort of melancholy. I got into that old book of Scottish salmon rivers, and it's one of those old books where literally you don't get any pictures. So the picture on the front and the picture on the back were pretty much all there was to go at, but they were like so evocative. The rivers in the pictures look just perfect. It just looked like the most perfect pool that you could imagine fishing. I do have a bit of a taste for old fishing books. I am nostalgic for a time that I haven't even known. It's this bygone era of golden salmon fishing days when the rivers was just teeming, like literally just teeming with salmon. Oh, what was that over there? Was that a fish? No, you always got to keep half an eye on the river. Anyway, yeah, can you imagine the Tweed back in the glory days, like when the runs were just incredible. Like a piece of water like this, it would just be boiling all over with fish, and spring fish too. I know I had my early success this year, but I've had a couple of days out since, and it does bring you back to earth. Like after my fish, I was like, yeah, you know what it is, my mindset's changing here. I'm starting to believe. I know that the best salmon anglers believe that they're going to catch a fish, and I wanted to be in that state of mind too, and I was starting to get there. It just takes a couple of blank days and you're right back at day one, and you're sort of scratching your head thinking, what am I doing here standing in the flipping freezing cold water, and why have I travelled so far for the privilege, and why have I paid so much to stand here and freeze my knackers off? I know the answer to the nostalgia problem is just to realise that, you know, I can't live in the past. Those days have gone, and I can only enjoy what there is, you know, as much as possible. But another part of me thinks that, like, you know what it is, we can send rockets to the moon, and we can do all sorts of amazing, like, advanced and technological things. I'm sure we can save one species of fish, and it's going to have to be anglers that save the salmon, by the way, because nobody else cares. You know, why would you? There's 1 million concerns thrown at you every single day, every time you stick your nose into your phone, which is where most people's noses are for at least 6 hours a day, by the way. And you know what it is, why would you, unless you really actually go out there and understand what it's like and how special salmon are, why would you give a shit? You wouldn't. So you just, you know, forget relying on anybody else to save the salmon. It's gonna have to be fishermen, because we're the only one that actually love the fish. So anyway, I wonder what we can do. There must be something we can do out there collectively as a group of people to, like, save a fish. I mean, for God's sake, we can't, like, stick a flipping GoPro on a salmon and just see where it goes and just see who scoops it up. I mean, would that really be so hard? I'm sure there is money being invested into, like, salmon research, and I know there's things like the Atlantic Salmon Trust and other types of bodies that I probably should look more into. But by all accounts, like, you know, it's not working, and yeah, it's not is it really that big a problem? I mean, surely in other countries, I know they've had success with like re-establishing salmon populations. Can't we just like pull our finger out and sort it out? Because I want to live those days. As much as I don't mind scratching around, travelling millions of miles, spending all of my money and flipping fishing from dusk till dawn every single day, dropping everything on a moment's notice when the river's right. I don't mind all of that, but I would like one of those red letter days at some point in my salmon fishing life, you know, just to experience what it's like to be on the river when it's flipping boiling with fish and it's just on. So, you know, what do I have to do? What do I have to do to make that happen? There's enough money in the economy to fund foreign wars and stupid IT upgrades that never come to fruition, or flipping HS3 high-speed rail links that are just pies in the sky. Our politicians are very skilled at finding ways to spend our tax money, and you know what it is? I think, you know, can we have a little bit of it back, please? Let's just take a tiny fraction of that tax money and stick some GoPros on some salmon and see what happens, see what comes of it. Sort it out, people. I'm starting to understand the concept. So do you do we drift, or do you just...
So I basically kind of roll all the time. And basically clean up the cap. You might move down the yard. So we just work down through the pool like you would if you were wading it. So essentially the boat's just a platform, fish farm really.
What sort of depth are we in now? Just like...
So in the moment it's probably about 3 foot underneath the boat. The water fishing out there is probably like 6 foot. And then you've got this like kind of shallow bar that runs down onto this rock just down below us. And then in the middle, kind of opposite where Mark is over there, it's maybe about 10 feet, 10, 12 feet.
Yeah.
So there's like deep areas with deep channels.
Because I've got a right lump of a fly on here.
Yeah. Some of the stories that were here are phenomenal.
I have found that the people you cross paths with on the riverbank, that you meet some right individuals, the right characters, like, and it's obviously something about the psyche, the mentality of the salmon angler. You know, it attracts a certain type of person.
It can, yeah. There'd be times that people were running businesses 30 years ago that would work on profit margins which were just astronomical.
Yeah.
Well, they're not there, but any kind of profit is a profit type of thing.
Well, I'm a baker, I'm on the breadline. I'll tell you what it is. It's a hard way to earn a crust these days because your margins are very, very tight. Right?
Yeah.
You're getting screwed off electric companies, like energy companies, all the time. That's my biggest cost, isn't it? Energy. And it shouldn't be, you know. I'm one of them people. I think we should never have privatised the energy sector. It just leaves you open to exploitation. They just I mean, my bills get made up. Like literally, they just make them up sometimes. And you're like, what are you doing? The amount of time I've got a smart meter. The amount of times that they don't read the smart meter and send me an estimated bill, and the estimated bill's always twice what it was, and then you know you end up paying like for them to be in credit with your money, and they know fine well what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, like it was almost like nearly a weekly thing for the last 6 months, getting a letter from the energy company saying we estimate this, but we could be this. Well, we're going to take this, but it might be that. And fluctuate up and down like you wouldn't believe.
It's kind of like, it's weird fishing sitting down, by the way.
Yeah, it is. It makes you realise how much you move your body when you cast it.
Yeah, it's quite nice. I mean, it's a very relaxing thing.
Yeah, it's quite pleasant.
I feel harsh that you got to sit there and row, but I suppose that's the game, isn't it?
That's what we do. What we do.
So I've had a bit of a boat fish. That was fun. It's a very relaxing way to fish. It felt quite strange looking back towards the bank and casting back across the other way, but it was nice, and it's certainly very relaxing sitting down to fish. Anyway, now I'm off for a wade, and apparently I'm in for a treat here because the wading's all gravel and it's supposed to be a lovely wade. Well, I think a good wade is like a treat, especially when you're used to bad wading. Sun's out now, it's turned into a beautiful spring day. So there's a weir up there, look, you can see the line of white water, and we're going to fish below that all the way down here. It looks a cracking pool, like lovely flow to the water, nice and fast. It's a glorious morning to be alive. Come on, fishies. Oh, come on, fishies. It's a lovely piece of water this. I mean, there's a few different cross currents going on. It's a little bit confused, but it's lovely. You can totally see a fish being held up here and just sitting in a nice taken lie. Come on, fishes. It's gorgeous water. Well, I've changed to my heaviest fly, the biggest thing that I've got, because it's fairly licking through the floor in here. I just want to make sure that I'm literally on the bottom. It does feel like a take could come at any time, which is all you can ask for really. You just start feeling that you've got a chance. Come on, little fishes. Whew, toes are going numb a bit now. It's a lovely day, the water's still well cold though. And it is quite hard work. It's a little bit of a breeze, but not too bad. But casting these heavy flies is tiresome stuff. And because the water's fairly flowing, I'm trying to put loads of mends in and slow it down as much as possible. So I've just seen a fish splash and I don't think that was a kelt. There's an egret over there just fishing away in the shallows. But there's definitely a fish about, so that was really encouraging to see. What a shit cast that is. Hello. I'm in some extremely shallow water, so I'm not sure how this is going to go. Let's feels solid enough to be a fish. I need a bit of deeper water, really. Let's have a look at you at least. Oh, I think it's a fish. Surely it's not a kelp pulling this hard. It really doesn't want to come onto the shallow gravel. Come on, son. Come on, fishy. Come on, you get it. That is a fish. That is a fish. We've got number 2 springer of the year. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Don't worry, son. Look lovely in the scissors. Oh, I'm gonna be on your way. Sea laced, absolutely fucking beautiful. There we are, another springer. Mwah. Let's let it go.
There we go.
Well, I'm back in the van. I'm a happy camper. I've had another good day. It's 5 o'clock, and for me that's pretty early time to finish, but you know what it is, when you've got a fish in the bank, it makes it easier to call it a day. And I'm pretty tired, to be honest. It's a big river, the Tweed, and it takes some covering, so yeah, I've burnt a few calories today with the casting, but I've obviously thoroughly enjoyed myself. Lovely water to fish, by the way. It's absolutely gorgeous fly water, and somewhere I would certainly like to fish again. So I fished today. It was 2 foot on the gauge this morning. No, it wasn't. It was 1'9", I think, on the gauge this morning. So I'll be bearing that in mind if I ever come up here again. I'll be looking for that water height. It seemed like a good height to me, so I certainly will look for that in the future. Well, thanks for joining me again. I can't believe I caught another springer. It's like I almost like feel a bit apologetic. Like, look, guys, you know, I'm sorry. This doesn't happen to me all the time. This is just I've won the lottery twice now. One would have been enough, but you know, I'll take two for sure. And I will be back out again. I'm not going to be out for a week or so because I've got a lot to do at home. But other than that, when the water's right again on my local rivers, then I'll be out again. So it's been worth the trip. I've had a good couple of days. It's been nice to get out into the countryside and get some warm spring sunshine out of my face as well. That's been absolutely lovely. Carlos had a good time, so yeah, all good. Anyway, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for coming on the trip, and who knows, it's a good year so far. I can't complain.
Ocean.